NBA, Sacramento Kings, that's like it. It's deeply rooted within this community in this city. So to have the best player on that team and then tie it into the biggest sport and then our tacos and our business was just huge.
Welcome to Log Off. Everyone has an internet story to tell, and today we're getting one from Sacramento Kings superfan and purveyor of fine taco products, Adam Saldan. He's going to tell us how his Twitter campaign to get De'Aaron Fox into the NBA All-Star Game eventually led to an unexpected collaboration. Adam, it's great to have you on. Let's hear this one from the beginning.
All right. So from the very beginning, I've always loved cooking as a child. My mom would have me helping with family dinners and things like that. She didn't have her daughter that she wanted by her side in the kitchen, mixing stuff up. So I kind of got drawn into it and kind of fell in love with everything, the whole aspect of it. She was always playing music. She would do these big spreads and I'd be in there helping her make rice, beans, enchiladas, things like that. And it was always just a really good vibe. She really enjoyed it. She would blast music. Everyone would be dancing, singing, and we'd just be, all in there cooking. And it was just an all around good vibe. So I guess that's what kind of created this love for cooking, deeply instilled inside of me. I went on through life and, cooking, I was kind of known for it. I'd always post the pictures on social media and things like that. High school parties, at the end of the night where people would go to Denny's or something like that. It'd be no, what do you got in the fridge? Adam's going to whip something up. Da, da, da. That kind of became what I was known for. But, life goes on and I was kind of scared to follow that dream, which was opening my own restaurant. So I was a research analyst for a school district for 8 years. Basically from there, I started dipping into kind of my passion again, kind of around the whole time COVID started. Everybody was working from home. So things like cooking from home and lunch, I just started experimenting with different things. It got to a point where I was kind of coming up with different styles of tacos and things like that. And around the same time, there was this building in downtown Roseville. And I had always eyed it for opening a restaurant, but, never took that step. My fiance actually said, you know what, you should just go inquire about it, see what comes of it. I went in and the owner was in there. He was making repairs on the building and we got to talking and he's like, I wouldn't be against opening some type of partnership with you. You handle kind of the cooking side and I'll handle the business side. I knew nothing of the business side at that time. So in return for that, while working the other job in my spare time, I would go to the restaurant and I would be, rearranging the kitchen, cleaning equipment, painting walls, peeling off tint, selling things for him, various stuff around getting the building up to par. That went on for about 8 months. And, we had a 3-month window before we were going to announce the public opening of the restaurant. And he kind of sent me a text saying, this isn't working out for me. I'm not sure if you have what it takes type of thing. And I was just in complete utter disbelief that, after 8 months of working with him and doing all this stuff that he was just going to back out and cut the ties right there. I mean, I'd told my family, my friends about it. It was well known. It wasn't known publicly at the time, but if you were close to me, you knew that this was coming. So it was kind of heart-wrenching, kind of like those stories where they tell you have something ripped away from you. And those words in that text kind of stuck with me where he's like, I don't know if you have what it takes to do this. So, I swallowed my pride and just basically said, you know what, that's fine. I'm keeping the name, which was Banditos at the time. I'm keeping the logo, which was designed from scratch. And I'm keeping all my recipes because at the time that person wanted 50% of my recipes, 50% of the business, 50% of all of that. So I took that and I was still working for the school district and I was like, how am I going to, keep this dream going It's not like I'm in a place to leave my job right now or anything like that, but how can I still pursue this? So I looked into it, and we found various permits that let you do something called like a TFF, which is temporary food facility. And we began doing lots of pop-ups around the community, farmers markets, events like that. And people just fell in love with the food. Banzitos tacos, Banditos at the time when I launched it. I live in an area, well, California in general, that has a lot of Mexican cuisine, and especially taquerias and tacos. And I wanted to elevate that a little bit, because you find yourself going to a restaurant, and when you order a taco, you're dealing with the same, mini double tortilla, meat, cilantro, onion, and they put salsa on it. And it's like, it all comes down to how good is the salsa, like how flavorful is the meat. And it's like, I wanted to kind of elevate that in our own way, but not stray too far away from Latin cuisine. So our tacos are about twice the size of a street taco, twice the filling. They all wrap around Latin cuisine. It's not like I wanted to go out and create like a macaroni and cheese brisket taco, because to me that's strayed too far away from the culture. So we have tacos, like we have one called the Grinch, which is like you're eating a green chicken enchilada. All of our tacos have a cheese skirt. The Grinch has chicken green enchilada sauce. It's got shredded iceberg lettuce. It's got sliced black olives. It's got a fire roasted chili crema. It's got diced green onion. So when you eat it, you're eating a taco, but you're eating a green chicken enchilada too. So there's 12 other tacos like that, 5 different quesadillas, 5 different nachos. And that's just what we wrapped with it. And people were just falling in love with it left and right. It started to get like a little bit of buzz. All while at the same time, I'm a huge Sacramento Kings fan, and even more so a De'Aaron Fox fan. And during that time, my uncle, he contracted cancer, and it was a really tough time. It was out of nowhere. It was tongue cancer, and it went very sudden. So at that time, I was also doing this daily tweet for De'Aaron Fox, and it was I still do a little bit of it in a different sense, but it was, "Good morning, De'Aaron Fox will be an all-star. I hope you have a good day." And I would tweet it daily, like every single day. And this was for in the length of about 5 years. Shortly after we drafted him, because I just believed in him. Like, he was new on the scene. Sacramento hadn't really seen something of that talent level. He was an explosive guard, but you could just see kind of like the game coming to him, and he was just evolving to an amazing player, and I just believed in him. How this all ties into that is I would daily tweet that, and at the same time, my uncle had passed away from cancer, and my cousin, his daughter, she was looking for ways to send him off right. She didn't have the proper funds. We came together as an entire family, but we still fell short of that goal. She created a GoFundMe, and I had posted it on my Twitter, and I had said, "Hey, these are hard times for my cousin. My uncle just passed away. If anybody could just share this, at least that would be great." And they had actually reached out. They had DM'd me personally, and I was just in shock. I was like, whoa. And they're like, "Hey, Adam, we see your daily tweets. We're big on manifestation. We really appreciate everything that you believe in De'Aaron Fox and things like that. And he wants to help." And I was like, oh, wow, this is like crazy. Like, he wants to help. I'm thinking like, yeah, if you could like retweet it or something, or share it to your followers, that'd be crazy. I mean, he has like 1 million followers. But he ended up messaging back saying, "How close are you to your goal?" And we said, "We're about 5,000 short, but please don't feel like you have to donate any form of money. Like, you sharing it is more than enough." And we only had like 2 days left. So like I said, we were short $5,000, and he messaged back and he said, "You know what? We just want to round it up to $10,000 if that's okay with you." So he donated that money, wired it next day to my aunt, and we were able to send my uncle off properly. And a lot of things like what's going on with De'Aaron now, and to me, it's like he's got his whole NBA prospect and he's got his NBA lifestyle. I mean, that's his career, that's his job. But for me, I'm more of a fan of him as a person because as the story goes on, that's how we met. So he didn't have to reach out to me. I was just a guy tweeting, something every day. But various things that kind of he's done for this community behind the scenes, things I've worked with him, side by side on, I've seen that. So that's where my fandom comes for him, more of a person rather than a player. So after that, I was still pursuing my dream in cooking, launching Banditos at the time to be this elevated taco for the area. It was gaining traction. And after that, like we would text back and forth about games and stuff. And like I would post Banditos and he's like, hey, I see you also own this taco thing. I was like, yeah, it's a dream of mine. And he's like, well, we're doing like a Halloween party at our house. Why don't you come? Do you think you can handle it? I'd never done anything like that. Like we had done like events for like 30, 40 people, but this was like close to 100 people. All the players, coaches, friends, and family were there. But I mean, what was I going to say? Like, no, like I was like, yeah, no, we got it. Don't worry. So he showed up with our little taco cart there, and we plugged it out. And it was funny because they had ordered another food vendor for that space, and people just came to us the whole night. They fell in love with the food. Like everybody, the team, the coaches, the players, eating like 8 tacos each. It was just an all around crazy night. So I guess they saw that, and they saw the potential in it, and we had our friendship going, and he just kept supporting it, like everything with sharing our tweets, saying that how great the food is, and they believed in me, and they believed in Banzitos and the whole concept and what it stands for, and they just continued to support it all the way through. I mean, coming out with their own shoe. The first Curry colorway, I didn't know anything about it. It was kind of funny. I was working outside the arena, and I saw somebody had tweeted that De'Aaron Fox debuts his PE colorway of Banzito tacos, and it was just a Curry shoe with like the colorway on it. And I was mind blown. I was like, whoa, that's so awesome. And then he helped us with things like he signed it. He signed that pair, and we started a royalty program where every 7th taco you get a raffle ticket, and with that raffle ticket you were entered to win those shoes. So I mean, it helped with sales, it helped with the hype, it helped. The food spoke for itself, but he just went out of his way to just be a friend and help us grow. So from that colorway, like it came out to me getting a text one day saying that, hey, we're gonna roll out an actual shoe, like with his first Fox One Curry brand shoe. There's gonna be a Banzito shoe, and I was just mind blown. I was like, no way. And I was like he's gonna wear it on the court, and they're like, no, it's like for sale. Like you can purchase them. And it was just that shoe dropped, and everything like buzzed around that, and it was just insane. Just to looking back at like how far it's come, having to like build up everything I went through to where I had the courage to just leave my career and jump into Banzitos full time, and with an NBA star. And it's not like I'm not throwing shade at any other NBA players, but I mean, De'Aaron Fox is a high caliber player, and at the time, he was only recently traded a couple of weeks ago. We don't have other sports in Sacramento. I mean, we have minor league sports and things like that, but as far as major league sports goes, NBA, Sacramento Kings, that's like it. It's deeply rooted within this community in this city. So to have the best player on that team and then tie it into the biggest sport, and then our tacos and our business was just huge.
What does that say about De'Aaron Fox that he reached out to you via DM instead of making a big show about helping you out?
It means everything. Like, it levels down more on a personal level of how it is, because there's players in the past that do that, and you hear about it. You're like, oh, I won't say any names, but like so and so, pays for the funeral of this or that, or it's a publicity stunt. But De'Aaron, if you've been a fan, or he's just very low key, and even everything like is just all behind the scenes for him. He never wants any type of like big attention, this or that, signing with Curry Brand and going a different route. He's just more about like doing his thing. And that was a huge thing. And that's kind of why I didn't really talk about our friendship for those 5 years till it came out publicly, because we kind of like resonated on that level where it's like, it's not like, hey, look at me. I don't want people, because now after that, like I'll have people walking up to the truck like, hey, can you get him to listen to my mixtape? Or like, can you just have him sign these shoes? I don't want any of that. Like, I got a business to run. He's got his own personal life. And him and Rasea, they just do stuff out of their own goodness and kindness of their own hearts. And that just speaks volumes to the type of person he is.
Has he told you how he came across your tweets? Like, did he just see you popping up in his notifications, or did someone show those tweets to him?
I think it might have been his wife that showed him. I remember her following me in the very early stages, but those tweets were big. Like, if you were a Kings fan on Twitter, you probably were annoyed by him. I mean, every day it was posted, and now today I post when I can, because I'm busy running this business, but I say, good morning, the Sacramento Kings will win the NBA Finals. I hope you have a good day. And also I just remembered on that first PE shoe he had, the colorway, not the Banzito one, if you look on the inside of the shoe, it says, you will be an all-star. So that was like a little tribute to those tweets, which was pretty special. And
you mentioned your new mantra, which is the Sacramento Kings will win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that right now compared to your Fox prediction?
We're a few years out, maybe. if we're having the same conversation, 10 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, crazier things have happened. So I think they had a really solid shot when Malik Monk got hurt and they had their first playoff run, losing to the Warriors. I feel like after that, if they would have got through them, there would have been a good chance. But that's life, and it's not all roses. You gotta go through it. You gotta go through different obstacles, and the Kings are just one of those organizations that's got more on their plate than others.
What are the goals for the business from here? Like, what's next for Adam and Banzitos?
So right now we're operating out of primarily a food truck. We still use our stand and cart for catering and different pop-ups. But I mean, the ultimate goal is, we want a cantina structure, and we want them in like big markets. So my dream and my vision is you get a Banzito cantina kind of like in your big popular tourist spots, places like Miami, San Diego, things like that. If you touch down in a major city, there'd be a Banzito cantina there that offers, we don't want like that high aesthetic, like tacos with like the drizzle of the sauce and a dot and things like that. We want something where you're getting these crazy looking tacos that taste amazing, and then you're getting like the fishbowl margaritas with the straws in them, and something fun, something loud, that type of aspect.
Well, it's an incredible story. If people want to follow along and keep up with what's next, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can visit us at any of our social medias, Facebook, X, Instagram. It's all Banzitos Tacos. It's like Banditos, but with the Z of where the D is. Banzitos Tacos, or go to our website, www.banzitostacos.com.
Thank you, Adam, for this discussion and for your contributions to the internet, NBA fan culture, and taco-hungry tummies. This is Ryan Perry saying log off. The internet will still be there when you get back.